What's up, everybody? I'm Robert Hartman with Pixelate. I just wanted to talk to you about metering settings within your camera. I knew I had a problem with this when I first started understanding metering. So with Sony, there's three majors and there's two others. They're the multi-metering system, the center-weighted system, the spot metering system, the entire screen average system, and the highlight metering system. Settings, I should say, not system, but settings. Now, multi metering is used in the other camera systems as well, Nikon and Canon. Canon is, I believe they call it the evaluative, and Nikon's multi would be their matrix, I believe is what it is. The center weighted is consistent throughout the other three, whether they're used exactly the same. They probably vary just a little bit, and the spot metering is consistent across the three. Whether they're used a little differently. Well, I should say they're designed a little differently within that camera system. So what the multi-metering system does within the Sony system is it breaks down your screen or your view within your viewfinder in different groups. Whether it's 4 groups in the center, that's how they show it in the manual, or how they break it down. And then each one of those sections, the light is evaluated within each of those sections and then evenly averaged. The center weighted, it's the entire screen, except there's more of an emphasis in the center of the screen. Usually that's where your subject is, and so the entire screen is measured for the light, except there's more of an emphasis right in the center. In the spot metering, it's more like a pinpoint, and it's just in that spot that the light is measured. And it's a different size depending on what system you have. It could be 2%, it could be 1%, it could be up to 5%, depending on your system. You'd have to look into your manual or maybe Google it and find out the information on that, to how big your spot is for your spot metering. Now, within the Sony system, you can go to the spot metering point in the menu, and you can set it to either standard or large. So that a standard will give you, let's say, 2% of the center point. Or if you go to large, it expands it out a little bit, so it's reading a little bit more of that light information. You know, metering is the brightness to darkness, or shadows to highlights, however you want to look at it. But it's determining how much light is being used within that area and gauging your exposure based on that. The cool thing about spot metering is, I know with the Sony, I don't know about the other ones, but I know with the Sony menu, you can go back into that same menu, into the spot metering point, and you can choose, do you want it to be in the center of the screen, or do you want it to lock onto where your autofocus point is? And depending on how you move your subject, if you're using the rule of thirds, or however you're setting your subject up, that could be locked on to the autofocus point, and that's a pretty cool feature. The multi-metering that's usually default in these camera systems. So, you know, you're going to use that for landscapes or for street photography, something like that. Center weighted, you can use for, a lot of other different settings. You can, if that's how you set it, you know, wildlife or certain scenes with waterfalls. Or spot metering is more focused on a specific subject within that frame, and maybe it's backlit really harsh, and you want to try to balance out that exposure so you can see your subject a little more. Or maybe you choose to do it the other way around and you want a silhouette picture. It allows you to pinpoint a specific spot in that and adjust your exposure based on that. The entire screen average is another metering system within the Sony, and that takes the entire screen, the brightness of the entire screen, and averages the exposure throughout the entire screen from light to dark. So it keeps your exposure even throughout the whole frame. Even if you change composition or your subject moves within that, it will keep an even it will keep an even exposure throughout that. Now keep in mind, if you're using an auto feature in your camera, it's going to default to the multi-metering system. When you go into your manual settings is when you're going to be more focusing on highlight, center weighted, or spot metering. Now the highlight metering system, I've never used this personally. I was just doing some research on it and checking some stuff out. Measures brightness while emphasizing the lighted areas. The metering is designed to help from overexposing your scene. It gives it a more, it's going to pull out all your highlighted areas and allow you to expose for that, so you're not getting a bunch of blown out pictures. So if you're doing landscapes and you got trees pop, you got a lot of tree action in your scene, and you've got a really bright sky popping through, it's going to allow you to adjust for those highlighted areas. Nikon's got a similar one to that too, and I believe it's actually called the highlight metering system too. I didn't see that in Canon, so I don't believe Canon does have that. So the spot metering, the center weighted, and the multi are what you're going to really see throughout the entire the camera ecosystem. And they might be called something a little different, but they're pretty similar. There might be a little way, a little nuance that's different, some little tweak in between each camera system, but generally speaking, those are the three that you're going to see in just about every camera system. I'm going to put some links down below so you can read a little bit more on this. I suggest that you try out each one of these metering systems just to get familiar with it. It's always good to try every setting on your camera too. Pop it in manual and just go through your different metering systems and try them out with your different autofocus choices as well. All right, you have a great day, and appreciate your time. Thank you. See you soon. If you have any questions, concerns, or comments, maybe some corrections, something that I missed in this video, or we want a deeper explanation, go ahead and drop me a message. Instagram is probably my best way to reach out to me. Drop a comment down below, and we'll try to get things worked out. Also, if there's another topic maybe you want me to do a little bit of research on, some in-depth answering, go ahead and shoot me a message, and I will do my best to spend as much time on it to get as many questions answered as I can, and also reach out to some of my friends that have been in this industry for quite some time, and we'll get them answered as best as we can. You have a great day. Also, please don't forget to like and subscribe the video.